Other ways that Manfred used his bully pulpit of the All-Star game is to kind of set out his agenda for what he veiled as what he sees as what baseball is going to look like in 2022 and beyond, but in actuality is negotiations ploy against the players union, where he is stipulating different things that will be negotiated eventually, such as the idea that a runner won't be on second base in extra innings. That's something that's probably going to be collectively bargained or part of the upcoming collective bargaining agreement negotiations. Certainly, the idea that we're going to revert back to 9-inning doubleheaders instead of the 7-inning doubleheaders that we've seen for the last 2 years because of the pandemic. He says that's going away. I think those are similar to what he had said kind of previously, where he was kind of giving things, acting like he was giving things to the players that the owners actually wanted. That's where the negotiation side of this was. Players Association looks at it as like, well, these are things that you actually want. You're just saying you don't want. You're trying to give them to us, so we have to give you something back, and that's all bullshit. But I don't know. That's why I call this a bully pulpit, where it just seems like Manfred is kind of negotiating already with the Players Association. Another thing he said is that the shift will be a thing of the past, and that he's actually embracing an idea that you and I, or at least I have endorsed. I think you have as well, where just say there has to be a player with a foot in his dirt, 2 players on one side of second base and 2 players on the other side of second base. That would effectively ban the shift.
Yeah, and it needs to happen.
Yeah, that's an easy. I think you and I have already talked about that. That's a win. That's a win for everybody. That's why I don't like Manfred talking about it in these terms, because he's going to try and use that against the players, which just is stupid because everybody wants that. So I think fans want it, players want it, teams want it. Maybe the teams don't. I don't know with the strategic side of it. Maybe some fans don't. I don't know many people that love the shift.
I mean, here's what I think. I think get the shift gone and let the pitchers use an approved substance on the ball, because the balls in play situation is going to completely go away. It's gone. That's what this is about.
He mysteriously didn't address the sticky substance situation because they want to sweep that under the rug as fast as they can, which we were going to talk about this week, but that
still nothing.
There'll be more to talk about next week, as the Hector Santiago appeal process was supposed to be resolved today and has yet to, but we'll talk about that more next week because there's going to be more fallout from that. But I guess we can agree on the shift needs to go. What do you think about going back to 9-inning doubleheaders versus 7-inning doubleheaders?
I think I would personally like. I think the Sox are 3-3, or no, they're 4-3 after the Baltimore game. But they started out like 0-3.
It's a short-sighted way to look at it if you're looking at what your team's record is in doubleheaders. But
no. I was going to bring this up with the runner on second thing too. I think you keep them both. I think teams just need to adapt to it and figure out a strategic way to be successful with it.
I agree with you. I like them both, and I'm kind of surprised. And I think a lot of people are surprised at how much they like them both. There's an urgency to extra innings now with the runner on second. That is just, without that, you get through 9 innings like, oh Jesus, we've got more of this shit. Nobody can get a hit. Nothing's happening offensively. When you get that runner instantly on second base, it's a game changer. It literally is a game changer. And suddenly the stakes are ratcheted up so much higher immediately as soon as you get into extra innings. So the way the 10th inning used to be a letdown, kind of the beginning of more drudgery, it feels like an opportunity.
Right.
So that part I like. It is a bastardization of the game. I'm not going to argue with that. It's ridiculous in a lot of levels. And trying to figure out, of course, there's no earned run on that. No one's responsible for that runner. It's crazy. And it has nothing to do with how baseball's been played for 150 years, but it's fucking cool. I like the effect of it. The other thing is, I don't, with 7 inning doubleheaders, I think I'm looking forward to 2 7 inning games. There's something about the urgency of a 7 inning game that I find appealing, and there's a bit of a novelty to it. Maybe that's what I like. With 162 games, if there's a few that are different, completely different than other games you see, there are positives and negatives to that. There is the novelty, and there's the tyranny of the urgent, where relief pitchers come in the fifth inning, or fourth or fifth inning, instead of the sixth or seventh. It's just that the stakes are ratcheted higher earlier in those games, and I kind of like it. And you're kind of, in a way, you're looking forward to those 7 inning games.
Yeah, I mean,
Again, those are bastardizations of the game. Those statistics, it fucks up a lot of things long term. I railed against it last year in a 60-game season, where teams like the Cardinals, it had the advantage where their bullpen had to play like 20, had to take over 20 fewer innings that year because they had so many double headers. And of course, that's just a bizarre situation due to the pandemic that will never exist again, where that small of a sample size could have that big of an effect because of the short season. But there's a lot of weird things that happen with that. But on the surface, I like what those effects have been. So maybe I'm just looking at the present and what I like. And when you play it out over a longer term, those things, those benefits don't outweigh the negatives. So I guess we'll see. My overarching thought is that I don't like that Manfred is trying to negotiate these things already.
yeah,
With the players association, in such a backhanded way, and that everybody wants these things, maybe, or they don't want them, but whatever, they can negotiate these things at other times. They don't need to be negotiating them through the media at the All-Star break.